Hi everybody, welcome back to Index Card a Day 2017 with me, Creative Katie. We are at the end of week 3 and this is card 21 and it was simplicity. Keep it simple. Supply links can be found in the description box. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Check the option to be notified of upcoming videos. So I get out my modeling paste and I'm putting the modeling paste through this circle stencil. This was a Prima Elemental stencil and I just want the smaller ones. In my notion of keeping it simple, I thought, okay, I'm just going to do circles. Simple, easy circles. Different kinds of circles with different mediums. So now that that's dry, I grab some of my craft paint. This is Martha Stewart pearlized paint, and then I have some Deco Art, just craft paint. And I'm in the warm tone, and I'm just going to rub these colors together, blend them right on the card to get a nice mix. I'm going to do what I did in the past in the heart one, where it's kind of negative painting technique. So I'm just adding the colors, and when I've got it kind of where I want it, I'm going to stop, dry it, then I can come back and add more. If it's getting too blendy, that's what you're doing. You're just mixing a little too much. You need to slow down and step away. So I'm just adding more colors, just building up layers, working in to get, cover all that texture paste so I don't see the white, but ended up grabbing some yellow, was missing that tone in the color. So my idea was just to create this beautiful, colorful background, do some stenciling, different colors, do some stamping on it, and just build some real interest in there before I do the negative painting technique. And my idea at this point is still to keep with the circles. So when I'm going through the stencil, I'm trying to put the darker color where it's lighter underneath, and vice versa. This is kind of a metallic or pearlized paint, so it's got that little bit of sheen to it. Then I grab this Tim Holtz stencil, and I'm just adding some more colors through it. Again, I'm sticking to the same colors. I'm not introducing any more. I'm just layering one on top of the other. And if you don't like how something is, layer something on top of it. It'll push it back, and then you can continue on your way. Don't forget to stop and dry every once in a while. Then I get a piece of shelf liner and I'm going to put some black. I find that when you're creating patterned paper, adding black and or white just gives it that extra pop. I just love the marks that you get with this inexpensive dollar store shelf liner. Grabbed another stencil and the white Dilutions paint. Now I like the addition of the white here, but I'm thinking it got a little too white. So I'm going to continue to stencil, and that's going to push back the white. I'm going to put some, I think, red on top of where those white areas are. You just want lots and lots and lots of interest. So I was going to trace circles and to doing that, and then I've come across this stencil that I cut with my silhouette, and I'm not sure, I'm thinking this was a freebie that I got off someone's blog, but it might have been a purchased one from Silhouette. So I'm just tracing these kind of pods or beads. I just thought, oh, this looks really interesting. So what you see through the stencil, that's going to stay those colors. What's underneath the stencil is what I'm going to white out or do the negative painting on. So I get a fine brush. Oh, obviously there was color still in there. Quality control. My cleanup crew doesn't do such a great job. And I'm just adding white in the negative space. Negative being what I don't want to keep. And depending on how even this goes on and what it looks like, you may need to add another layer. But that's a judgment call. You may like it with just one layer because often you can still see some of the pattern showing through. And in the right application, that might look really, really nice. This took a little bit of time to get this done, and I didn't film all of it. And I'm trying really hard to get a clean line, but because there's texture on the page, that makes it a little bit more challenging. Not impossible, just more challenging. I'm really liking the bright colors peeking through with the white. And I think with keeping it white, this time I keep the background white. Spoiler alert. But I think that goes with the whole simplicity kind of prompt. Testing out a butterfly, decide not. I have some black and white butterflies that I also tried out off camera, decided not to go with them. So in the spirit of the card, I am going to keep it simple. Decide I'm going to try some floating. I'm thinking the black is just a little too harsh. So I grab my pomegranate seed, my Dilutions, and I'm using that. That belongs in the same color family as the colors that I created the background with. I love this pattern, which is why I cut this stencil, but I have yet to have used it in an application that I loved. I've tried it on jelly prints, I've tried it for some other things, and nothing's really worked out. This I love. I toy with the idea of doing this card horizontally. Then I splatter with the pomegranate seed, and I want that on the white, and that just kind of blends it in. And if there's any imperfections in the white, this kind of covers it up. Clean up. You'll see this paper at a later date. Then I decide I'm going to splatter with gold. I really should just mix up a bottle of the thinned gold for the amount of times I grab it. Then I'm thinking I need a little bit more definition around these pods or whatever we're going to call them. And I grab my Posca pen and just outline them in the black. And I'm quite happy with that. Again, it's very difficult because there's texture on that, but the texture really adds to the card in person. You really don't get the benefit of it online. So I had fussy cut around simplify, and I had also keep it simple. So in my usual way, I have to test out both of them and decide which one I like. I chose keep it simple because some of the letters were bolder black, and I thought I needed that because there's so much white on this page. And so I decided to do some fussy cutting around here too, because I don't want all that white. There's so much white on the background. This card is very different from anything I've done, being that stark white, but I really like this card. And I think because it is very simple is part of it. Sometimes we overthink things and make it difficult. I was looking at, I have all the ICADs for the last week, leaning against on the mantle, and pretty much 50-50. Half of them are warm colors and half of them are cool colors. So doing the index card a day, it's a good opportunity to play with colors that you don't normally use, or to experiment. It's a card, it's a quick, easy project. If you are doing the index card a day challenge, please come and post them in my Facebook group, All Things Mixed Media, Creative Katie. Would love to see them there. Mixed media technique tag videos, I think they'll be coming back very shortly. And this technique here, this negative painting, will definitely be one of those techniques. Here are the close-ups of the finished index card. I just love it.